Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Okay, good afternoon. I am back. I can't believe I'm back so soon, but I will also be back later today. Yes, later today. Tune in for the NFL watch party about the woman who talks about how, I think she titled it, "Who the F Was I About to Marry?" But while you're at work, I wanted to get you and talk to you about this Imani Talk situation. So another Black woman being dragged on TikTok. Let's get into it. So I wanted to talk about this. My stance is very similar to the stance that I have with Alexis Sky. And I know that sounds crazy because these are two polar opposite women, but they are both the same to me. They are trying to find themselves. They're trying to figure themselves out. So when you are finding yourself, I believe people think it looks a certain way or it's pretty. Nah, like it could be ugly as hell. When I was trying to find myself and I was rebelling against the Christian, overbearing, overprotective, strict parents, what do you think I was out here doing? Everything up under the sun that was very extreme. And that's what it took for me to find myself. It took me going to the most extremes for me to be like, that's not for me. Okay? So I don't want to discourage the girls because my platform is truly about you finding yourself. And if I come on here and start judging these girls that I clearly see are trying to find themselves, but they're struggling with where they stand with making these changes that they're wanting to make in their life, and they're just jumping from one extreme to the next. That is a woman that is trying to find herself. She's trying to figure things out. So Imani Talks, she went viral. Let me see if I can find it. Oh wait, it's on my desktop. Give me a sec. I just, I don't know. How old is Imani? Let me see. She went viral because of these comments.
That there are some gospel artists, I think it's Kirk Franklin, Chandler Moore, on Glorilla'S album. People are justifying it with, you never know how God can use that situation. What if they can break through to somebody with that song because they're talking about God in that song? So basically what that justification is that these gospel artists can go and intentionally put themselves in rooms with people who are doing the opposite of what they're doing, and they can rub off on those people and have a positive impact on people who listen to trap music. Do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits. The more you intentionally position yourself and align yourself and go into business or do dealings with people that are going against the word of God, right? It's more likely that their bad habits are going to corrupt you, not the other way around.
Now, I know the Christians always get dragged the most. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I take that back. I know why. It's because sometimes when you speak on your beliefs, you come across very forceful and pushy and judgy. And people get triggered by that because you're not giving them any room to choose it for themselves. You are forcing it on them. And that makes people very uncomfortable. And it actually pushes people away instead of bringing people more in to your religious group. And that's the issue. It's not even your belief system that people really have an issue with, because everyone has a belief system. You got the Catholics, the Jehovah's Witnesses, you have the Jews. Like you have so many different religious groups that are out here, and it just seems like when Christians speak, it's like the hammer comes down with your approach. And I believe it's your approach. I don't believe it's what you're saying. I don't believe it's what you believe. I don't believe it's because you know the word of God. I really think it's just your approach to how you go about spreading the gospel. If you were to change your approach, then people would be open. Like you would be able to touch people that are not in your faith, that maybe don't have a relationship with God and things like that. But yeah, Hindu, Muslim, all of that. Like, but the Christians tend to always get kind of like centered out from everyone else. And it's just because of the approach. And that's it. It's not because you have these beliefs and this is what you believe. I'm not here to waver that, because that's your identity. And Imani, honestly, when she was in the whole bottle service industry, when she was working in the strip clubs and things like that, I didn't think that was her. I honestly thought Imani, she seemed very smart. She seemed like she was very talented, even when she was in those spaces. But I would watch her videos where she would be counting money on camera. She would always be showing people how much money she made that night and who was tipping her. Like, remember when she used to vlog herself? I don't know if she still has those videos up, but she used to vlog herself and she used to be out and she would count how much she made from being a bottle service girl off tips alone. I think one time it was her birthday and she had like this little ribbon on that said "It's my birthday" or something like that, and she was getting big tips. But even during that time, I personally didn't think that that was Imani's true identity. I just thought that she was using the fact that she's young, she's beautiful, and she can easily get money this way. I just thought that that was just the phase that she was in life. She's getting older. I believe someone said in the chat that she's 25 now. Typically around 25 years old, that's when you see a lot of women out here that start to make those shifts and those changes in life. It's called growth, y'all. If you are still doing the same thing that you was doing when you was 20, 21 years old, then I feel like that's a bigger issue. I do. I feel like that's a bigger issue, but I get it, right? She's coming across extreme, pushy, judgy, forceful, and it's so different from what you're used to from her. And I believe that part of the change that she's going through is just based off of where she is in life, like the phase that she is in life. This is just where she is. And I believe eventually she'll grow out of this, because this, now listen, y'all know I'm unbiased, but I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you because I'm gonna be real with myself. This was a little much. All right. Because I wasn't offended by what she said.
That there are some gospel.
I wasn't offended by what she said. This is old school Christian teachings. If you grew up in the church, this is what they would teach you. So a lot of us grew up hearing this type of stuff. Why are we acting offended now? It doesn't make sense. Okay. The old heads in the church, they did not believe in mixing with music, mixing secular music with gospel music. There was a whole controversial thing that went on because I think gospel artists back in the day, this was like when jazz, what blues was around, and some gospel artists were sampling some of the blues and honestly, the beats and just the sound of jazz. They would sample that and then mix it in with gospel. And there was a whole thing back then. So this is old. Like, this is old school. I'm not getting upset about this, because if she's truly taking on this religion, this is part of her religious belief. It's not extreme. You've heard this. We've seen this. This was probably, if you grew up in the church, you were taught this. I'm not taking offense to this. But this is when she lost me, y'all. I was like, this is when she lost me. I was like, this is a little much. The Clark sisters. Yeah, that was another one. Yep, I remember that. But this was when I was like, okay, this is too much for me. This is why I had to tap out. Oh, you ready? Okay.
I see a lot of online discourse about me right now because people don't like the fact that I'm talking about God now, but I used to be a bottle girl. But let me clear up the confusion. That's the whole premise of Christianity, boo.
This right here is a perfect example of cognitive dissonance. You know what people are.
Hold on, wait. Not that one. I thought I had the original video. Oh my God, did I get the original video? Oh, here it is, I think.
I see a lot of online discourse about me right now because of people that I see a lot of online discourse about me right now because people don't like the fact that I'm talking about God now, but I used to be a bottle girl. But let me clear up the confusion. That's the whole premise of Christianity, boo. Clock it. That's the whole point of following the Lord. Your life should look different. The Lord takes you out of what you were doing before. He takes you out of your sin.
Yeah, that's what it was. Girl, this is too much. Oh, it's the cardigan. It's the hair. I'm like, oh my God. I really think she's doing this for a man, y'all. I said it. Oh my God, I said it. I think this is all to get a man. I think that the reason why she's taking on this lifestyle change is because she feels like she has to get the man that she truly wants. She couldn't get the man that she wanted through being a bottle service girl. She wasn't being taken serious because, I mean, if we're being real, the same reason Alexis Sky got into it. Remember, Alexis Sky was saying that the reason why she was being heavily influenced and people were in her ear telling her that this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do to get a man. Sisters, when are we going to start doing things for ourselves? Why is it always about a man? Damn! It's like it's getting to a point where it's irritating my soul because women do everything from the time that they wake up in the morning, man. From the time that they get dressed, man. Hair, man. Nails, man. Makeup, man. God damn, do you do anything for yourself? And I know the men, and listen, women want to sit online and debate about men being the prize. You make them the prize when you make everything about them. You make how you show up, who you are as a woman, what you identify as, how you groom yourself. It's becoming exhausting, seriously. And I remember Imani talking about how she went through her breakup. She was on her platform and she was talking about her boyfriend at the time and how he's this and how he's that. And then when she went through that breakup, then she went through this drastic shift. And I don't know what happened in that relationship. I don't know if it was a combination of things, like that relationship ended and then she was still being a bottle service girl. I don't know what happened. But honestly, she hasn't been the same since. And it's just something that I was observing. But that's life sometimes. It really is. It's life sometimes. And when we get hurt by people or when people do things to us, it can cause us to be extreme. So now she's embodying this super self-righteous complex. She's coming across very judgy. And maybe she feels like this is what she needs to be in order to get the things that she's desiring or getting the things that she's manifesting. But I've said this before, and I'm really talking to the religious woman. Just because you turn to God and you take on this walk and you change your look and you change how you dress and everything like that, the reward is not a man. The reward is eternal life. Okay? The reward is that you get a ticket to heaven. The reward is not a man. And I think the girls are being delulu about this. The reward is not that you get the man and you get to run off in the sunset. The reward is that you have a relationship with God. That's the reward. So if you're doing all of this extra shit thinking that you're going to be the chosen one that gets picked and you're going to have the man because you turn to God, I'm going to tell you right now, in this life, because nothing is guaranteed, You could do everything right. You could be the perfect woman and still get shitted on. Okay. You can be the most faithful woman and still wait for your husband at 60, 70. Allow yourself to breathe. My God, you have this grip around your neck and it's like suffocating you. And you really think that this is what it takes. You have to put yourself through all of this. You have to suppress your true feminine, authentic self just to get a man. Like like I said, if it's going to take all of that, I don't want the shit. It's not natural order and it's confusion. It's chaos. And then it's like, it's causing women to truly be at war with themselves. And it's confusing them because they really don't know what direction they should take. And it's because you're not allowing yourself to naturally be, to naturally exist, to naturally allow these shifts to come into your life. You're forcing it, and you're forcing it because you want the man. That's it. You just want the man, and you think that this is what it's going to take. And then you think because you're embodying this perfect woman, this modest woman, that it's going to guarantee you a man. No, like I said, it only guarantees a relationship with God. And according to your belief system, eternal life. That's it. And I feel like a lot of the girls are going to be disappointed because you're not living your life for yourself. You're living your life according to wanting to manipulate a particular outcome. And if you don't get that outcome, who's going to be depressed? Who's going to feel less about themselves? You are. You need to really build yourself. And yes, I'm not saying you can't have your relationship with God. I'm saying, can you start from an authentic place? Can you start this journey from a place where it's not about a man? It's not about trying to change yourself and manipulate yourself in a way to where you get a man. That is truly because this is where you are in life. You're wanting to change your life. You're not liking the direction your life was in. And so you're making this pivotal change to evolve, to elevate, to truly become Christ conscious, so that you can vibrate on a higher frequency so that you can receive your true desires in life. But if you're going to go about it this other way where you're forceful, it's extreme, and you feel like you have to jump through all of these hoops, it's unnatural. It's unnatural. When you are really taking on real change, it's a slow transition. It is, you take steps. Sometimes you get set back. Sometimes you take 3 steps forward. You take big leaps. That's real change. It's not this overnight, I changed my appearance and that's it. It really takes you doing the inner work and wanting to make these changes because you're changing as a person on the inside. And so now you're wanting to make these changes on the outside to match how you feel on the inside. But if you're making this all about men, how is this truly authentic to yourself? It's not. And I'm telling you, when I was heavily, and this is the thing, I can relate to Alexis Sky. I can relate to the girls that were hypergamous. I can relate to the girls that are Imani, self-righteous, super religious. I can relate to her. But when you look at all of these women, right? Even Alexis Sky being the Instagram baddie, making money off her body. Who is centered in all of these spaces? Being the super religious woman, who is centered? Who is benefiting the most? Being the Instagram baddie, who's benefiting the most from that? They all have the same thing in common. Who is really benefiting the most for that? It's not women. Because if it was women, why are we online complaining every damn day about men? Still in 2024, why are we online complaining about men? It's getting exhausting. And it's so crazy because like women have so much power within themselves. Like it's so crazy. And it's just like, why are you not turning inward? Why are you going outward And then you're going outward and you're going directly to a man that's about to drain your energy. One thing that I notice when I'm with men who are not for me, this is what I look like. That's why I made the comments yesterday. It ain't even worth the money. That's why I'm not a sprinkle girl. It's not worth the money. This is what I look like. I look like death. That's what I look like. Let's be real. I look like death. Sprinkle, get in the bag. Rent's being paid. All right, cool. Then, this is what I look like by myself. Not allowing a man to drain the living force out of me for a bag. For a bag. But let me show you this too. Because I'm going off my lived experiences. I'm not going off of social media. I don't care about social media. Social media does not influence me. I'm never going against myself because social media said this. I don't give a damn about social media. I'm going off my lived experience. So then this was me, right? This was before. This was me being lost in life. This was me lost in life, okay? Then this is me finding myself. This is me finding myself happy as shit, happy as hell, okay? But anytime you see me like this, I'm focused on myself and I'm selfish as hell. Selfish. When you saw me like this, family draining me, not happy in life, toxic work environment, the list goes on, okay? Taking my power back. Taking my power back. Taking my power back. I say the things that I say, not because of trends. It ain't even religious. Like, it's real. It's me living through these experiences. Women continuously give their power away to everybody. No boundaries. You care too much about what people think. You want acceptance from people that don't really like you to begin with. They're going to talk shit about you regardless. So get past that. You give your power away through sex. I was so disappointed when I watched Love is Blind. I haven't done my review because I'm waiting for Wednesday. And I was so disappointed in the cast of women because they gave their power away because men sat up there and told them sweet nothings. Sweet nothings. Literally, sweet nothings. And then as soon as they came out of the pods, they slept with them. They slept with them. And then after they slept with them, men get comfortable after they sleep with you. You get to see the real them after they sleep with you. And then all of a sudden, the women realized they had all got played. But you know who actually won? Men. Because they got what they wanted. They didn't want to be with you. Because if they really wanted to be with you, they would have been honest with you. But no, they didn't do that. They lied. They told you sweet nothings in the pods. And it's 2024, ladies. Men lie to sleep with you. You know that. So when I said I was disappointed, I was really disappointed. Like, they really sat up there and took on what these men were saying, didn't allow these men to really show them, hey, this is who I say I am. Let me show you. Let me show up as the version of myself that I talked about in the pods. They didn't even give it any real time. They just was like, oh, okay, he said he's this, and he said he's that. I'm going to just give my power away, give my sexual energy away so he can go off and tiptoe and skip around. No, so he can go off and skip around and be happy and be on a high. And then here I am, not even getting my needs, my wants, but he got what he wanted. I'm tired of seeing women take their power away. And it's like it's never ending. Whether it's a woman being super religious and modest, a man. If it's a woman being promiscuous, a man. If it's a woman that is for the bag or the money, a man. And it's like, ladies, it's time for you to wake the hell up. You do not even have to use a man for money. You could go light some candles. Literally, the money will appear. But it's like, if you want to keep giving your power away, your energy away, and men are not dumb. Men are not dumb. There's a reason why it's normal for men to want multiple women. It's not just ego, it's energy. They know that you are generating an energy. And if I can get this woman's energy, this woman's energy, this woman's energy, this woman's energy, I'm a king. That's what it means. I'm a king because I harvested this woman's energy, this woman's energy, this woman's energy, this woman's energy, and I took it and I used it for myself. Men are not dumb. And that's why when you deal with them sometimes, they can be very draining. They will literally suck the life force out of you. I don't care how much money that man is giving you. They will take everything in you and use it for themselves. That is what they're going to do. I don't know who's worse, children when it comes to your energy being drained or men. And I really am leaning more towards men who don't they don't rely on their own energy source. They use multiple women to generate, and they come across as like a succubus or an energy vampire, and they just suck all the life out of you. And then what are you left with? You're tired, you're drained, you're not doing what you used to do, you're not dressing how you used to, you're not putting in the same amount of effort like you used to. You're not doing any of that. And see, children, they will always get a pass. A, they didn't ask to be here. And two, you should have known what you were signing up for before you had them, that they were going to require sacrifice. How they come into the world requires sacrifice. So I'm assuming you knew what you were signing up for. But these men are grown. They are grown. And when you lay down with them, they will suck you dry of all of your good energy. You don't look the same. You're not even creative the same. And honestly, it's not that all men are like this. It's really not. It's the ones that don't generate this energy on their own. They seek out multiple women to help them generate that energy. That's what they do. I don't believe all men are going to be like this. I don't believe all men are energy vampires. I believe I will say the elevated masculine will actually have something to give, to where you're not coming off the bed and you're just exhausted because you just laid down with him and you just gave your energy to that man. So it's just crazy. It's like women have so many choices. It's 2024. You can do things differently. You don't have to do things based off of how they've always been done. And you don't need a man for money in 2024. You really don't. You really don't. You have blogging. And listen, I try not to insert my personal choices on women, because I have to keep in mind that I used to work a 9-to-5 job. I used to work at fast foods, a grocery store, a bank, an insurance, a pharmacy company, and things like that. I had to remember what it was like being in that space. I was in survival mode. This was me in survival mode. I'm not putting myself back in survival mode just for some money. I'm not doing that. If I know that I can go make money over here and do it this way, and I don't have to worry about my energy being drained, I don't have to worry about a man stressing me out, I don't have to worry about suppressing myself, I don't have to worry about being a lesser version of myself or a smaller version of myself just to impress this man, just to get money, I could have went and did it a different way. I don't have to go and do it in the same way that everybody else is doing it. I can do it my own way. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying that you have to do it that way. I'm saying you have choices. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, as a woman, you have choices, and you're limiting yourself to just men in every area of your life. From the shapes of your eyebrows to how you lay your hair when you go outside. It's like, damn, is there any area in your life where it's truly about you? Any area? And it's sad. We have to tell women, hey, get a hobby. Why is that not already like a natural thing to us? Why do we have to tell women you get a hobby, get a hobby? You should already want to do that for yourself. But if you put so much energy and so much focus into men, it's like, damn, what are you doing for yourself? It's just exhausting. And it's 2024. It's just so much that women can do. And it's like, we want to stay stuck in this cycle that men have had us in for generations, centuries. And we don't want to elevate. We don't want to evolve. We want to continue using the excuse of, let me use this man for money because I need him. You don't. You really don't. You really don't. You have so many rights. Some of you have an iPhone. You really don't need them like that. You really don't. And that's the truth. But women want to stay suppressed. I'm convinced women do not want to get out of this cycle that men have had us in, to where it's controlling, it's manipulative. It's like, we want to stay here because and you want to know why we want to stay here? Leaving means leaving them behind. Leaving means you may not have a shot at love. Leaving them behind means that you have to give up on the white picket fence. And to be honest, I don't believe you really have to do that. I really don't. I think men will adjust. I feel like men will shift because they won't have a choice, because women are shifting. And it's like, women run things. We run the culture. We do. Anytime that there's been a shift in the culture, it was led by women. It was never led by men. I don't care if it was something as simple as the hem of our skirt being longer or shorter. We shifted shit with that. The hem of our skirt. Seriously. So it's like, it's women continuously just keep giving their power away. Just here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. And then continuously disempower yourself. Instead of taking your power back, because you have the chance to do it. But instead, you're like, no, I'm giving it to you. I'm going to keep giving it to you. I'm going to keep giving it to you. And then men manipulate you with it. Then men control you with it. And then men play games with it. Men lead you on with it. Men abandon you. Men they don't respect you with it. Men don't care about you with it. You give them the power, and then they don't even respect you or treat you right, but you want to keep giving it to them though. Why? We talk about how in family settings, because this goes to in all areas, family and friends, right? You're not getting the respect. So what do? You remove yourself. You remove yourself. But women haven't done that yet. Because I really don't know what it's going to take. I don't know, because we have the power to shift things quickly. Overnight, if that's what we want to do. We just got to move differently. Our approach got to be different. But it's like, we got to go to these extremes.
It takes you out of loving yourself
to get recognition from them. Like, that's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to dress with a cardigan to my chest like that and a short bob. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to be half naked dressed like Alexis Sky to get some type of recognition. I shouldn't have to do that. I should just be able to show up as myself, my best self, my better version. But like, I shouldn't have to do these most extreme things. Do you see men doing this? Do you see men putting in as much effort? No. It's not even taught to them. They can show up however they want to. They can show up in busted, ran over sneakers if they wanted to. But if you came with a chip nail, some funny feet, oh, it's the end for you. Oh, all hope is gone. You're not gonna get no man because you came with some funny feet and some chip fingernails. It's like, and women are going, I'm gonna tell you now, until the collective of women, feminine, divine women, until you break out of this cycle and you create some balance by removing yourself out of spaces where you're not getting respect, by being authentic and true to yourself, you're going to keep jumping to these extremes. And you're going to stay on this hamster wheel until you decide to break out of it, because you have to take your power back. You've been giving it away. They haven't been giving you respect. So remove yourself. Close your legs. They don't respect you. Men laugh now. They think it's funny when you lay down with them after they made all of these promises. They said, hey, this is the type of man I am. This is how I plan to show up in your life. And you go off of the sweet nothings. You lay down with him and he's not even who he claims to be. He's somebody else. And it's like, how many examples do we need? It's the same shit. It ain't nothing new. I can understand if these men were creative. These men are not creative. These men are running the same bullshit game that was taught to them by an old head at the barbershop. So the same game that they've been running is the same game they ran on your mama, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. It's not new. And women are supposed to be smart because we're the most educated, right? So why are we struggling so much with this? It's getting, y'all, it's really getting ridiculous. And then this is another thing. The women empowerment stuff is fake. We can't even be honest with each other. We can't even agree to disagree. We have to be all in on some, we think the same, dress the same, talk the same, operate the same. We got to have group thinking in order to be women's empowerment. Or we have to create a trauma dumping community for us to have women's empowerment. We have to bash men through women's empowerment. We have to make it about beauty, hair to get a man for it to be about women's empowerment. We can't actually make it about ourselves because we make it about all of these things that don't help us at all. It doesn't elevate us. It doesn't truly have us evolve past the cycles that women have been stuck in for generations. It doesn't, which is why we're on this loop, which is why women's empowerment is fake to me. It's not real. It's fake as hell. The sisterhood is fake. It's just, it just is. And it's just exhausting. It's like, when are we going to actually move past this? Because, you know, I'm all about forward movement. That is the only reason why I'm here. It's time to move on. The shit ain't working. It's time to try something different. And it's going to require you to do what has not been done. It's going to require you to step outside the box. Not keep doing the same thing. And it's like, generationally, we've seen women do this before. It did not work. It never worked. A lot of the stuff that women were out here doing did not work. That's the truth. But we're going to keep doing it, though. That's insanity. That's crazy. And it's like, y'all, something has to give. Something, like, we gotta switch it up. We got to do something different. First of all, let's start making our journeys about ourselves. First, how can you go outside of yourself and make it about something else when you don't know who you are? You may be misled easily. Find out who you are first. Allow yourself the space to fuck up, make mistakes, go through lived experiences. Allow yourself to breathe. Damn. And then men can go out and sow their royal oats, boys will be boys, but we don't even give the women the freedom to do it themselves. So we want to judge Alexis Sky. We want to judge Imani Talks. We want to judge any other woman out here that may be partaking in sex work, sprinkle, OnlyFans. It's like, can we give the girls the space to find themselves seriously so they can figure out what's for them and what's for not and what's not for them? But if we don't, if we're going to just come in and be like, oh, she not doing this right, this is part of her journey. It may be extreme, but sometimes sometimes that's what it takes. It takes you looking ridiculous. Yeah, being extreme. And sometimes it starts with your opinions, because I have videos on my platform and I'm years ago and I'm listening to it cringing. Like, oh my God, damn, ooh. And I sounded self-righteous. So, but I'm like, damn, if I didn't go through that phase and learn from that phase, I wouldn't be in the mindset that I am now, where I'm like, let her figure it out. Give her time. Give her the space. Stop trying to control her and be forceful because you feel like she's not going about it the right way. That may be what it takes for her. I don't know why. It may take her being extreme with her journey in different phases in her life for her to evolve and elevate to a healthier place. It may take that. And so there were other things that I was extreme in. Like I used to do I was very extreme. I just got to be honest. Like I went through that phase, Instagram model, Instagram baddie. Extreme. Very extreme. I think at one point I had, and you know, when you're an Instagram baddie, it's all about shock factor, right? So I think I had like yellow box braids. And I still think they're cute, but it was just, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was me trying to get the shock value and post content as the Instagram baddie to get the shock value. But that wasn't me. But if I didn't allow myself to go through that, I wouldn't know that. If I didn't allow myself to wear the damn yellow braids halfway down the middle of my back, touching my booty, I wouldn't know that wasn't for me. Yes, the Yoni Red days. Not ashamed of it, very proud. It is what it is. Let women go through their process, y'all. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if it's the super Christian or it's the Alexis guys. Let the women go through their process. Let them. But listen, the girls that are going through their process, stop making it about these men. They don't even like you like that. And that's another thing. A lot of women don't even understand. Some of these men truly don't like you. Not as a woman. They want to use you, but they don't like you. It's like that homegirl. She always wants you around, but she's not really a real friend to you. She only invites you because she knows that she'll get free stuff. She knows that you make her look good. She knows that it gives her some type of status in life, but she don't really like your ass like that. She really can't stand you. And she's in competition with you. This stuff, it's the same with some of these men out here. They don't like you like that. And I'm sorry. There are going to be less people in this world that like you for being your true, authentic self than there are going to be more people in the world that like you for being your true, authentic self. Women have to get out of this people pleasing. I'm willing to change my face, my body, my hair, my lashes, my eyebrow shape, my eyebrows, my lips, my boobs, my ass. Hell, I think some of y'all would change y'all damn feet if you could. And some of you probably have for a man. Seriously. And it's historically women's culture globally. This is not a Black woman thing. Chinese women historically used to break their feet to make them like, I don't know if it was 3 inches long or a size 3 in shoes, but they used to break their feet on purpose because men found it to be more attractive. You gonna break your feet out here to get a man? Because that's what women used to do back in the day. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, I'm telling you, It's getting ridiculous. And women have been in this cycle for years. Imani's not new. Alexis is not new. Me and you, even when we were in our phases, it wasn't new. Actually, the reason why we were doing it was that's the culture of women. We were when we came into womanhood, from girlhood to womanhood, we were already being programmed and conditioned. I need the girls to break out of it. I need you to break out of it. Literally break free and then go live your life. There's so much life out there. There's so many new people you can meet with different mindsets, different lifestyles, different perspectives, but you're limiting yourself to just this space because of the programming and the conditioning and the structure and the patriarchy. You like, it's 2024. You can literally just break out, break free, and go off and go do your own thing and be happy. And it's not to say you still can't get your desires, but you don't have to go about it in a inauthentic way. You don't have to change your desires. It's just, do you have to manipulate yourself so much to the point where you can't even be yourself? That's suppression. And women have been doing that for years. Like, I used to watch women in my family, they would hold their tongues because they couldn't say this or they couldn't say that. And I'm not saying be rude and be aggressive for no reason. I'm saying it does not make you a bad person to speak your mind when it's necessary, when it's needed. I remember seeing women hold back and not say anything because they're a woman. And in a way, they felt like they couldn't speak up or they shouldn't speak up because, well, I'm a woman, he's a man. And it's just like, when do we stop doing that to ourselves? I really don't understand it. And then women don't understand though, with this man thing, and then you have to go to work. And then if you're a Black woman, you have to suppress yourself there. You have to suppress yourself when it comes to your man. And it's like, where's the freedom for you? Then you have to suppress yourself when it comes to kids. Where do you get to just exist? Damn, like that. Y'all, I'm telling you, it feel like I got something tight around my neck and I cannot breathe. That's what it feels like. When I tap into this energy of women just going to the most extreme levels, very similar to Chinese women and how they used to break their feet to get their feet to look more feminine because that's what men were attracted to. It's very similar. It's too much. It's too much. I need the girls to take on this journey authentically. That's all I'm asking. I don't care if that's you being in the Instagram baddie phase, sprinkle, OnlyFans, just take it on authentically. If it's authentic to you, I will respect it. If you're just doing it because some girl told you on Instagram, I can't respect it because it's not who you are. I want to know who you are. I don't want to know who Susan is, the girl that was on TikTok that said, hey, I'm a 304. You should come join me. You should do what I do. If that's who you are, cool. But if it's not, and you're like forcing this false identity, you are suppressing yourself. And it's not necessary in 2024. It's just not. Now, for some women, your lifestyle, I may not be talking to you because I've talked to a few girls. I've mentored a few girls where they're really in survival mode. I'm not talking to you. And I'm talking about women, young girls that I've talked to where they were abandoned. They never knew their parents at all because they were adopted or they were in the forget what it's called. They were in the system and they've been in the system since they were kids. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that really have a choice and you're choosing this route and you could literally go in this direction. That's what I'm talking about. Foster care, y'all. Foster care. I'm not talking to the girls that, because those women, they really don't have that many choices. I'm really not talking about them. They are in survival mode. They didn't have parents. They didn't have anyone that was looking out, really trying to help them. Some of them have been abused, the M word. And and they've gone through some really hard times in their lives. I am not talking about them. I'm talking about a particular group of women that you have a choice and you're choosing this for yourself. That's who I'm really talking to. I'm not talking to that other group, because that's really survival. But you got to understand what those women are doing is strictly for survival. And we talk about living a soft girl life, living a soft girl life, living a soft girl life. How can you live a soft girl life if you're suppressing yourself and you can't be true to who you are? You have to be a different version. That's what I want to know. Like how can you really be free and just let your hair down and just exist? And then Black women, I'm sorry, baby, but this is your only opportunity. Seriously, in 2024. Because we ain't never been in a generation where we could really just be. And we're choosing to go back to what we know, what we've seen, because that's what we've seen generationally. But it's like, baby, you have so many choices. You have so many options. And it's like, you can go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. There used to be a point in Black womanhood where you had to go work that job. You had to. You had to go to master's bedroom. You had to go in the field. You had to go feed another woman's baby. You got so many choices now. And it's like, you can choose differently, or you can choose what you've known, right? And you can go put yourself back into survival mode for a lifestyle. And that's another thing that I want to talk about too. Some of you are putting yourself in survival mode for a lifestyle. And I've seen some women struggle with this. I had a girl that she came to my mentor session and she told me straight up, she was like, Yoni, I'm not ready to leave this man because he pays everything. And I said, okay, I mean, that's fine. I respected her honesty. I was like, well, we don't have to talk about that. That's what I told her. I was like, we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to. So we started talking about what do you want? And she was like, well, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'm like, well, what's holding you back from doing this? That man. And I was not trying to talk about that man, because I'm like, well, you decided already, because you're a grown woman, you make your own choices and your own decisions in life. But the more we started talking about what she wanted and what she wanted to do and where she wanted to go, and she had these dreams and she wanted to do this and she wanted to do that. And I'm like, so why are you not doing it? What's keeping you from doing that? And then she started getting into this list of things, and it led back to that man. And I said, well, you do realize that the reason why you're not happy and you're stuck in this space within yourself, you're at war with yourself, is because you don't want to give up that lifestyle because he's paying for everything, but it's not truly making you happy, which is why you booked a session with me. So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you need to decide what is more important to you. This dream that you have to become this fashion designer, or this man that pays for everything. Because when she was in this relationship with this man, for whatever reason, it was like she just didn't have the energy to get after it. She didn't have the drive, the ambition to get after it. And it was because this man was draining her energy. And I told her, I'm like, that could be the reason, that could be holding you back. She wants to get in the gym, she wants to get after it, but something is holding her back. And I'm like, every time we would try to make it about her, it led back to that man. And that's how you know. That's how you know. That's how you know. Yes, it's always an extreme, from breaking feet to corsets. Oh my God, BBL to Ozempic. Never no chill for women. Please focus on just thriving for yourself, not a man. And I'm telling you, you're going to be happy in life. You're going to be happy in life. And do I believe that a man can exist in your life and not be havoc or burden? Yes. But there's only one man out there that exists for you that's like that. It's not 10, it's not 20, it's not 30, it's not 40, it's not 50. It's one man that may exist out there like that. And the reason is because a lot of these men don't do the work on themselves. Like we could talk about that. So when you intertwine with them, and this has been my lived experience, it doesn't matter how much money that man gave me. It doesn't. Because there was a man, and it's crazy because when we were talking in my mentor session, she didn't want to leave him alone because he was paying for everything. And she didn't want to have to go back to working and being in survival mode. But I'm like, you already are in survival mode because you're not happy. So I related to what she was saying because there was a man that I was dealing with for about 6 months. He was paying my rent and I was happy with that. And I was able to save a lot of money. But eventually it got to a point where I was feeling used and the money was not enough because he would drain me. He would. He would go to work. He would get off work. He would be stressed. And then he would want me to come and go to dinner with him and sit with him to make him happy. Literally. Like he was paying my rent basically to sit with him, to make him happy because he enjoyed my personality. I was funny. I was lighthearted. I didn't take things offensively. And so I was cool with it at first, right? Because we had fun together and things like that. But after a while, it became routine to the point where I felt like my energy was being drained and the money was really not making up for what he was taking from me. And that's the thing. Sometimes money really can't replace what men take from you. They really can't. And once I started peeping, like, damn, like my energy levels get low after hanging out with him because I could feel the stress, the anxiety. I could feel how he was worried. I could feel how he wasn't happy where he was in life, even though he was making good money. But I could feel all of these things. And so whenever and this is me hanging out with him, not having sex with him, just hanging out. I could only imagine if I gave this man my body, what that would have been like. So one thing that I noticed though, and this was the biggest red flag, was when we first started hanging out, he told me, he was like, oh, you have the type of personality where you attract both men and women. And I'm like, what? He was like, no, you just don't understand. You have really, really good energy. I should have known then that he was an energy vampire, that he was the type where he pays women and he pays them basically to make his life brighter. If he had a long day at work or he had a stressful day at work, he would invite me out. He was like, hey, you want to go get dinner? Do you want to go get drinks? And I'm thinking, this is cool because I get to get dressed up. I get to be cute. And that's me being myself, right? But the part that wasn't me being myself was allowing this man to drain my energy because after a while, I didn't even want to put in the same amount of effort that I was putting in to get cute. I wasn't even getting excited about it after a while. It started to become like a job. And I didn't like that. And I'm like, I don't have to be in survival mode like this. This is me choosing survival mode. And so I was like, you know what? I broke it off and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore and just moved on because that's not for me. But some women, they really can. They could go hang out with a man, entertain them for hours, a few hours, or whatever the case may be, and they don't feel anything at all. They don't feel anything at all. But some of these men, I'm telling you, they have very draining energy. They can be very exhausting. And it's not even that they're not fun at times to be around. It's just when things worry them, you can feel that. When things are stressing them out, you can feel that. When things are not going the way that they want, you can feel that. You can feel it. You can feel it. So after a while, it wasn't up front, but after a while, I started catching on like, damn, this man really is using me for my energy because I noticed he would hit me up like, oh, I had a long day at work. I don't want to talk about it, but meet me here. Let me take you here. And I'm like, if I can work on myself, and let me show you. If I can work on myself and generate this energy on my own, men are capable of being able to do the same thing. They don't need me. They don't need me. They don't. They are capable of generating this energy on their own. Seriously. They are. They don't need us like that. And that's what I'm waiting on, the collective of men to get to that point where you don't need me for that. You can do that yourself, but it will require you to work on yourself. That's it. So I did the work, you can do the work. And it's going to take some time. It's going to take you isolating yourself. And one thing that I noticed about men, they never want to be alone. And it's just like kids, right? How kids can be super clingy and they never want to be alone. A lot of these men do not want to be alone. They project on women about it all the time. That's why they hop from this woman, this woman, this woman, this woman. They don't like being alone. And I really think it's because they really don't like themselves like that. I really don't. I don't think they like the version of themselves. They need a woman around that makes them like themselves. Because if a woman is not around, or if a woman is not giving them attention or giving her energy or her body to him, then he feels less of himself. He feels less of himself. He feels like he's not the man. And he feels like maybe he is not that guy that can get that girl if there's not a girl around. Like he just feels like he's not the man that he really wants to be. But if there's a woman around, he's cool with that. He's cool with it. He's very much cool with it. But pay attention to how these men use women. It's not always the sugar daddy thing. It's not. This was a male acquaintance. This was a male friend. This was someone that I thought would be in my life for a very long time. This was not like some sugar daddy and met him on some fly-by-night website. No, this was like a male acquaintance. A male friend at the time, and I just started noticing how he was using me. And I thought when he was paying my rent, like he just wanted to, because he offered. He's like, oh no, like let me take care of you. Like I just want to do something nice for you. Da da da. And I'm thinking like, okay. But it was because he was leading with his wallet so that I would be blind to what he was really using me for. Because then when he would hit me up at random times, because he knew I was an entrepreneur, he knew that I would feel guilty if I didn't go out when he wanted me to, because then I would think about how, well, he did pay my rent, da da da. He did give me this, or he did do this for me. So let me go meet with him at the drop of a hat or whenever he wants. So it's not even like, women don't understand how men harvest you and use your energy in friendship, in business relationships. It could also be siblings. It could be father-daughter relationships. It could be even, I'll never forget when I was younger, my mom, she would have to go out of town for work. And then my dad would be like, can you come and lay with me? I just don't want to lay by myself. I miss your mother. That's how men are. Seriously, like they are really like that. And I'm like, okay, all right. And so it's like, I'm telling you, y'all, protect your energy. When you start to protect your energy, you'll really start to see how you don't need men when it comes to a lot of things. They actually need you. But why is it that it's in reverse? Why is it that it's in reverse? Just like when that baby come out of your body, it needs you, right? I don't think that ever stops. I really don't. Men can say things like, oh, women hit the wall, they lose their value. But their mother didn't. Their mother didn't. Safari was just on the internet talking about how, I don't know what I would do. I heard about, I was talking to a friend who recently lost his mother. I don't know what I would do without my mother. Because the value is never lost in a woman. It's never lost. It's only lost when she doesn't know her power. It's only lost when she is giving her power away. It's only lost when she doesn't know herself and she doesn't have self-respect. But if she has all of that stuff, the value is always there and it will always be there. Because and if you snap out of this patriarchy bullshit, you will see that that's the truth. You will see it. You will. Like, it's right in your face. That's why they project so much on us. Like, they project how we as women should really rely on them. And we normalize sayings like, we have to make a man make him feel like we need him. Why do we have to make it feel like? Why is that not natural? It's natural for them. It's natural for them. Why do we have to pretend though? It shouldn't be something that we should have to pretend, because it should be nature, but it's not nature. It's not. But it's the other way around. Oh, they need women. They do. even if it's not just for sex, even if it's just sex, literally. So at some point, ladies, you're gonna have to really snap out of it. And I don't know what it is. I really don't. But women are gonna continue to be extreme, and it's the history of women. Imani is not. She's not doing nothing new. I'm sorry. So if I'm gonna shame Imani as a woman who believes in women's empowerment, I gotta shame all women in women's history, and I'm not doing that. Seriously. That's where I'm at. But do I understand where the girls are coming from? Yeah, because this is a lot. I mean, girl, I just feel like she's in a sunken place, y'all. And it's so crazy because she's such a beautiful person on the inside. I just feel like she's going through some things right now, and that's life. Sometimes you go through things, and this is just where you are. I just wish she could have her relationship with God and it not be so extreme and just so judgy. That's it.
Sin. He makes you a new creature, and now you're doing something new. That's called growth.
That's true.
That's what you should be doing. But I'm not surprised at the genuine confusion, because so many people see these.
You see the nails, y'all? This remind me of P. Diddy, where you see the girls with the white nails and you be like, oh God, oh my God. It's giving the same thing.
False examples of Christians who go to the club Saturday night, get drunk, go to church.
Yes, we are. That will be later this evening. I will be back on here.
Sunday, and do it all over again the next week. They still love their sin. So many people see these false examples of people that never change their life to follow the Lord, but they have man of God, woman of God, God first in their Instagram bio. But you do not see a change in their lifestyle at all. So when people actually see someone changing their life to follow the Lord, they're confused. They're not used to it. But I'm also not surprised either, because didn't they do the same thing to Paul when he was still Saul, murdering Christians? That man was on his way to go murder more Christians when the Lord stopped him in his tracks, blinded him for 3 days, said, why are you persecuting me? Turned his life around. That man went from a murderer to a preacher. And the Jews were like, ain't this the same man who was murdering Christians? And we know that Paul wrote more than half the New Testament. So I'm not surprised that people are confused, but I'm just clearing up that confusion. If someone says that they follow the Lord and their life does not look different than it is before, you should question that. Don't question when you actually see the change. That's the whole point.
Y'all, all I'm gonna say is, if y'all care about these girls, just wish them well on their journey. They're going through a journey in life, and this is just where they are. I don't think all of this is bad, because I think it could be worse. There was a video that I saw not that long ago, and it was a group of girls that were on a podcast, and they were talking about their pimp stories, and it could, like I said, it could always be worse. Like, they were mentioning family members and how family members were taking advantage of them and pimping them out and all type of stuff. This one girl was talking about how her brother helped her get into the lifestyle. Then another girl was talking about how her aunt helped her get into the lifestyle. It could always be worse. So wish this girl well. It could be worse. And listen, she's extreme right now. We can all agree with that, but let her have some space to really find herself and figure it out. Bashing her, to me, is only going to make it worse. I don't think it's going to make it better, because she just feels attacked. And one thing that I had to learn about women who feel attacked, when they're in that defensive energy, when they're in that defensive mode, the best thing to do is just step off. Like, leave them alone. They'll come around. Hopefully you left a lasting impression on them based off of maybe something that you said, and just leave it at that, and just let them work it out with themselves. Like, sometimes we don't got to stand over a woman's shoulder like men do to try to control and be forceful. We could just be like, you know what? She got it. She'll figure it out. Like, just send her some good energy and just leave it at that, because I'm not really against her whole message. I'm not against her message. I'm against her approach. And I just want to make that clear. I'm against her approach. I'm not against her message. I'm not against her journey. I'm not against her relationship with God. I'm not against that. I'm against her approach. Same thing with Alexis Sky. I'm against her approach because Alexis was being inauthentic. And I wanted Alexis to be authentic because then her journey could have went differently. And when she was turning to God, she wasn't being authentic. And so things didn't go right. And I really believe the reason why things did not go right, not the way that she planned or not the way that she thought it would, was because she wasn't being authentic. So that's my only issue with both of these ladies, whether it's Imani or it's Alexis Sky. Be authentic, be true to yourself, because then your journey is going to be true to you. You can't say you missed out. You can't say, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that, because you were being true to yourself. And even if you're going through a crazy phase where you're a super Christian, you were still being true to yourself. Or if you were going through a crazy phase where you turn to God, then you turn back to an old lifestyle that you knew God was trying to turn you away from, but you went back to it, and then you turn back to God. Like, it's true to yourself. It's authentic to yourself. That's your story. That's your truth. That's your testimony. And at the end of the day, no one can take that away from you because you're being authentic. So that's what it's really about for me. It's not about you should be this or you should be that. It's really not. It's really not about that. The Jessica Marie situation, I don't know. I kind of feel differently about that because I was listening to her talk about her journey. It made me realize, like, damn, this is a woman that's really done the work. Why do I say that? It was just her thought process was not surface level. Her thought process, she was making connections when it comes to her past self, her current self, and then where she's wanting to be. Women who are able to do that are truly on a journey for themselves. Now, some may say that it's performance, right? It's performative, but that's social media. It doesn't matter if you're watching a vlog. It doesn't matter if you're watching a girl do a get ready with me. It doesn't even matter if you're watching me on a live stream right now. It's a performance. That is what it is. Social media is performance. Social media is edit. Social media is filter. Social media is I removed this, I took this out, I changed this, I switched this around. That's what social media is. If you are looking to social media for real life, you're looking at the wrong place. You're looking in the wrong place. You need to log out of social media and go to the grocery store, go to the park, go to the gas station, go to the mall, hang around people, talk to them in real life, go to the salon, go to the barbershop. If you want real life, social media is always going to give production. It's a creative app. That's what it's for. So that's just, I do believe, just based off of having a conversation with her, I kind of feel differently about this. And then there was this other woman. Let me play.
You know why they're saying it, but you're choosing to point the finger at something else. People don't care that you was about a girl at the beginning of the year, and now you're choosing to follow the Lord and do something different. People have something to say because you're coming off condescending and condemning other people for their walk with the Lord. Everybody has different paths and different avenues of them seeking God, building a relationship with God, and whatever they choose to do. Just because you can go from showing your ass drinking every night and all of that and do a complete 180 transformation in 9 months doesn't mean that the next person, it could take them 10 years to do that. Just because people do believe in God, believe in a higher power, believe.
And that's what makes me kind of question it, like if it's real or not. When girls do those extreme changes, it makes me feel like a man is involved. I'm just being honest. It makes me feel like a man is involved because it's like, girl, real change takes a transitional phase, and it's the transitional phase where you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I'm being serious. You're like, damn, I'm leaving that behind, but I want to go this direction, literally. So when people jump from one extreme to the next, I always think it's fake, and I think a man is involved because I'm like, is she being manipulated? It's giving Jasmine Brown and Cam Newton. You know how she like switched her content around and it was like that. I'm like, is there a man around? Is there some type of man around? Because that's what I start to think instantly. I think about Jasmine Brown every single time because I'm like, damn, she changed up her whole rhetoric just overnight. Real change takes a transitional phase where you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and you may even be struggling where you're in this side Then you're in this side, then you're in this side, and then eventually you transition all the way to the other side. But it takes time though. It takes consistency, it takes routine, it takes discipline.
In the Lord, that does not necessarily make them a Christian. And if they do call themselves a Christian, at the end of the day, nobody is perfect. You still have flaws, you still have sins that you commit every single day. It may not be the ones that you were before, but you still have them just because you're walking with the Lord now. So I think people are more so talking about how you're basically judging other people for doing a gospel song with a secular artist, or maybe because you choose to read your Bible every day and they haven't got to the stage with they walk of God to where they could do that. And it's kind of implying that God loves you more, or you're more important, or you're more high up on the scale than somebody else. And that's what discourages a lot of people from getting to know God. People like you. I don't even want to continue with this because this is not what my content is about. I just like to laugh, but yeah.
I also want to highlight too, your spiritual journey is not for the public. And I think that's part of the problem too, because when you're trying to figure things out, you never want to publicly put it out here because you don't want outside opinions. You really don't. It just creates chaos, confusion. You don't need outside opinions when you're trying to figure things out and you're not in a secure place within yourself. When I come online and I share my spiritual journey, it's always past tense. I'm never talking about what I'm actively working through, what I'm actively going through. It's always past tense information. It's never this is what I'm currently at. Because the worst thing you could ever do when you open your mouth and you share too much with people, then they start to project their opinions, their fears, their judgment. They think that you should do this, they think that you should do that, and you're not really allowing yourself to be in that non-judgmental place. And sometimes you have to create that space within yourself by not oversharing and telling everybody what you're doing. Allow yourself to create that non-judgmental space by moving in silence and closing that mouth. Whew. I'm telling you, you don't need to let everybody in on your spiritual journey. And then when you let people in on your spiritual journey too, they can come in and cause ruin. They can come in and manipulate you with that and things like that. Sometimes it's okay to just keep some things between you and God. You know, you don't got to tell the whole internet. I think that's part of the issue, and I think that's why people are just kind of hesitant to believe these women when they make these changes. It's because I think part of the issue is oversharing.
I literally made a video about this like about 6 months ago of how I was noticing like certain creators on here that lived a certain lifestyle have now been saved and become Christ-like, and now have become so sanctimonious and self-righteous that they feel like,
I just hate y'all. We went from brown booty holes, and I'm just being honest. We went from brown booty holes and gonorrhea lipsticks or lip gloss to, I just hate how everything is negative. My God, it's like, I get where people are coming from, but it's like, why is like this part right here? I'm like, why is it a bad thing though? This part.
I literally made a video about this like about 6 months ago of how I was noticing like certain creators on here that lived a certain lifestyle have now been saved and become Christ-like. And
why is that so bad, y'all? Now that part right there, right? But then it's like, this is when I was like, yeah, you're right.
now have become so sanctimonious and self-righteous that they feel like they can pass judgment on others and
that's the part I agree with. I was like, yeah, you're right.
their relationship with God, or how they choose to have that relationship with God. Amani Speaks commentary on Glorilla and her collab with Kirk Franklin, and just like on the album, her having a lot of songs that speak on her relationship with God, and me thinking that's a beautiful thing, but she's judging it and feeling like her opinion actually fucking matters. Like, it's so weird to me because you can tell that a lot of these new Christian girlies, especially, like, who the F are y'all to say that this is not what Jesus would have done? Jesus would not have been in these spaces. Yes, he would have. If Jesus was walking with hoes, he had to have been where the hoes was at. Like, y'all assume that all these people came to Jesus, like he was just sitting in a field somewhere cross-legged and people just walked by and just joined in. No.
I really want to know, like, where do the Christians stand with this? Because I mean, I can see where she's coming from. I can see where Imani's coming from. She lost me when she came with the bob and the sweater and the nails. I was like, oh, that's a little much. But how do the Christian women feel about this? About these women turning to the faith, right? Do you feel like they're misrepresenting you in a way? Because I don't feel like all Christian people are like, I don't feel like they're extremists like this. Some of them are pretty normal people. You know, it just depends on who you're talking to. So how do the Christian women feel about this? Because I don't feel like this is all bad. I mean, y'all, it could be worse. Like I said, we was at the brown booty hole. So I just want to know how y'all feel about this. I know how I feel as a spiritual person. I'm just like, well, this is just a part of their journey. This is just where they are in life. But how do you feel? That's what I want to know.
Oh, he was going where those people were that needed his word, that needed his help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He wasn't judging them. He was walking amongst the people. So he had to have been where they were. He had to meet them where they were. Y'all read this Bible like it's like the final say without doing your research on how the Bible as we know it was even created. Y'all need to take a religious study course before y'all die on this hill. Y'all absolutely act like a fucking cult. This is why y'all need to really deconstruct. Y'all have to be deconstruct, because going from a pick-me to a religious pick-me, it's one and the same.
Wait, Imani was a pick-me? But she was a pick-me in the other life? I have another question too. Do you think part of the friction with women right now and the women who feel the way that she feels, you think part of the friction is that there are women that are woke when it comes to that Bible? Because those missing books, the missing books, I don't know if women know this. And listen, I'm just saying this out loud. You need to go look for this information yourself. The Ethiopian Bible is not the original Bible. It's another copy as well, but it's the closest to the original Bible. But the missing books in the Bible are parts in the Bible where women were in empowered positions. They were in empowered roles. Are you aware of that? Look it up. That's all I'm gonna say. Look it up. I'm not here to waver you, persuade. Look into what I'm saying. That was another reason why I left religion. Not God. I had to detach, because those missing books are of women who were in empowered positions. Not they weren't in a position of quote unquote power. No, they were in alignment with the divine masculine, and their role came across as an empowered divine feminine. But those books, those pages, those chapters, they're missing. We don't get to read that literature. And if anybody got access to it, can you send it to me? I would love for you to email me, please, because I don't see women really talking about that. So those missing books in the Bible, baby, that's what they took. That's what they took out. That's what they removed. Let's see. So I personally can't be an extremist, because until I can get my hands on the literature, I'm just gonna be open-minded, you know.
Rude, or is it
Wait, hold on. We're gonna wait for Aunt Jackie. I'm sorry. Let me. I used the wrong one. Yeah, you know, a lot of things were taken out of the Bible to keep us under a certain mind control. Like Black people were removed. It's a mess.
To follow Amani Speaks, but I don't know, slowly but surely her content started getting bitter, and it started talking at women and not to women, and I was like, this gives me pick me vibes, so I unfollowed. Then she made a video that confirmed that, and then I was like, yeah, my intuition really never wrong about people too often. So her saying something about Glorilla and Kirk collabing really is not surprising to me. Basically, she's saying Kirk shouldn't have made a collaboration with Glorilla because they shouldn't put themselves in a situation to be tempted in so many words. That's what she has said. But true followers of God are not going to be tempted. A person that could walk into a room full of drug addicts and not get addicted to drugs, that is a real person walking of God. A lot of y'all do not have relationships with God. Y'all go into church, read the Bible, and then swear y'all have this relationship with God. But a person that's truly working and walking with God, you will be walking like his son, Jesus, who was hanging out with the outcasts, who was hanging out with prostitutes, who was hanging out with thugs, who was hanging out with thieves. You will be trying to teach the word to them because God said, go teach my word to people who do not know it.
Right.
Why would Kirk be in a church talking to y'all who already know everything about Jesus? Because that's why you're on here judging him and what he's doing and not go speak to a crowd of people who do not know God. Why would he do that? Please shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay. The last part, I'm not going to agree with her on that. The shut the F up, I'm not for that. But everything before that, it's the truth, y'all. It's true. That's why I don't like shaming women that are in certain lifestyles. I'm like, what do I look like doing that? If I'm really for women's empowerment, right? Because women's empowerment is supposed to be real, right? I'm not shaming somebody because they have a different lifestyle. They're making a different choice. I don't have time for that. I'm not about, that's me disempowering that woman by shaming her. And I can't even just disagree with her. We can't even agree to disagree, you know? So I'm not doing that. I just hope that maybe I said something and it had a lasting impression on her, that it, once she goes through or continues to go through certain lived experiences, that she'll eventually come around. But to bash her to death and hit her over the head, like, you better listen to me, I ain't doing that. I got better things to do with my time. Because if she's anything like myself,
The money follow.
She ain't listening to me because I ain't listening to nobody. So she'll come around. She just got to go through some things, and that's okay. She just got to go through some lived experiences.
Video, and the reason why people are bringing up the fact that you used to be a bottle girl is because now you feel like you can cast judgment because you call yourself a Christian. That's why people are reminding you, baby, you were just a bottle girl 6 months ago. So the fact that you think that you could now call yourself a Christian and start casting judgment as if you're God, that's the problem that people have with you. It's not because you were a bottle girl and now you're changing. It's because now you're spewing out these red pill rhetorics and people are... I seen a money follow-up video, and the reason why people are bringing up the fact that you used to be a bottle girl is because now you feel like you can cast judgment because you call yourself a Christian. That's why people are reminding you, baby, you were just a bottle girl 6 months ago. So the fact that you think that you could now call yourself a Christian and start casting judgment as if you're God, that's the problem that people have with you. It's not because you were a bottle girl and now you're changing. It's because now you're spewing out these red pill rhetorics and people are quite frankly confused because it takes more than 6 months to know God. And this is
now, wait a minute now. The red pill rhetorics, I didn't get that from the Glorilla video. What I got was, it was old school Christian teaching because that's what I was raised on. So, red pill, I wouldn't go that far, but I don't know. I don't know what other content she's been making. Maybe that's the disconnect, but that's not what I got from the original video. That's not what I got from this video.
I think it's Kirk.
That's how I was raised.
And this is
secular music was not okay. Like, it was not okay in Black church. And it started with blues, and gospel was being mixed, and the Black church had an issue with that. So this isn't new. Like, this is honestly old. It's very old. So red pill, I don't really agree with that.
Why people do not like Christians. So y'all going to church, know what sin looked like, face sin, know how God worked you out of your sin, and then start casting judgment because people are still sinning. I don't understand people like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's her take. And again, it's the judginess. It's the judginess. Okay. Let me see if I can find another one. I think I want to say, is this one?
I see a lot of online
or something else.
No, it's not that one. Let me see. Or maybe that's it. Okay, so I want to talk about this too. So let's move on to Jackie real quick.
Rude or
But I'm strictly talking about her comments about Glorilla, who is a Black artist who decided to work with a Black gospel singer. That's what I'm talking about. The Black church did not welcome that. Okay, I'm not saying that it's just the Black church and it's only the Black church. I'm just speaking on why she said that and why she carries the mindset that she does. It's because if you really are following the Christian belief system, they don't allow that. They don't allow that. And I'm basing it off of my own experiences. I went to a Black church. Not saying that it's only the Black church. I'm just saying, like, that's just what was going on. And it was old school teaching. That's what it was. And I don't know about y'all, but when I was in church and we had a young adult ministry, right? Some pastors don't like the youth coming in and trying to do too much because you're bringing in the secular stuff. You're trying to be more modern in your teachings and things like that to connect with the youth. But a lot of old school pastors and churches, they didn't allow that. The youth ministry, you were restricted when it came to you doing a lot of different things. And so honestly, I see where Imani is coming from. My only disagreement is her approach. Again, it's the approach. But she's not saying nothing that ain't already really been a norm out here when it comes to certain belief systems and religions and things like that. But I've already said that.
or is it like rude because I said it? The way that I communicated with people
Now, this is another thing. Y'all know how I like to be unbiased, right? So Jackie is talking about how sometimes she feels like, as a Black woman, she gets attacked because it's because she said it. But if someone else said it, it would be okay. But if she said it, it's a problem. So let's get into that, because I feel like some of that is at play too with this conversation.
Is it rude or is it like rude because I said it? The way that I communicated with people completely changed overnight. When I realized somehow, some way, people decided they just like made up this rule in their head that they can say whatever they want to me with no fluff, with no courtesy, with sometimes very little respect and regard for my feelings. And no matter what, I'm still supposed to respond with decency and kindness. And even when I would give those things, they would still dog me the hell out, no matter how careful, no matter how considerate, no matter how much fluff I added. So I stopped adding fluff when I talk to people. And I realized
So this is, I'm really talking to Black women for a sec. Do we have to always add fluff when we speak our mind, or are we able to freely speak our mind without the fluff? Because I've even been accused, like, oh, Yoni's attacking me, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just speaking my mind. Damn, hold on, I snorted. I'm like, I'm just speaking my mind. Like, I'm not attacking you. I promise you. Like, it's never that deep. At the end of the day, you gonna log out. You gonna go about your day. I'm gonna go about my day, and I'm gonna be happy. And I hope you happy too. But do we always have to fluff it up for people and package it in a way to where they're not, like, people are not like projecting like this negative thing onto me? Because again, what Imani said, the original video, the second video, I was like, you can tell she was responding to the hate, right? But the first video, I didn't really take offense to what she said. I was like, oh, this is like old school church, you know? But why do we as Black women, I don't feel like this is a thing on social media for Black women. And the darker the barrier, the sweeter the juice, or the worse that it gets, right? Why do we always have to fluff it up for people to really consider what we're saying? I really don't see this in other spaces when it comes to women, but I see this a lot in our spaces. And that's why I'm saying, like, every other week, it's a Black woman getting dragged on TikTok. That's why I don't like being on there, because I'm like, well, damn, am I going to be next? Am I next? So I'm like, let me just keep my thoughts to myself because I don't always like to add fluff to things because I think it's fake. I think it's fake. So if I'm being direct and I'm just being straightforward, that's me being real with you. It's not me trying to be mean or like tear you down or make you feel worse about yourself. I'm just getting straight to the point. I don't feel like I got a small talk, tiptoe around it. Like, let's just get straight to it. Like earlier in this live, when I was like, it's 2024, like men lie to sleep with you, men lie for the cat. So that's just me being real. That's not me attacking you. That's just me being real. And this is my thing, ladies. Y'all don't do this to men though. Like y'all, and you don't do it to men. You don't. These men can lie to your face. And then you have a woman that's just being honest with you and you want to fight her, but this man lied to your face and you willing to work it out. Ashley from Love is Blind, you willing to work it out. But if a woman would have did you like that, you would have been like, oh hell no, like da. There needs to be some more balance with this. It really do. It really does. And then a man can be harsh with his delivery and you'll say, oh, he's being a man. He's wanting to be honest with me. He's not one of those guys that want to lie. Okay, so what's the difference when a woman does it though?
At the end of the day, I have so many things working against me. That's not how I feel. That's how other people feel. I'm dark skinned, I'm Black, and I'm successful. Ooh. So no matter what I say, it's going to be perceived a certain way.
Yep.
So I stopped adding fluff for people because you're going to think whatever you want anyway.
Right.
And the worst part is when you communicate with people, when I say it, it's rude. But when they say it to me, I'm supposed to just, oh, they didn't mean any harm. How the hell do you know? Do you know them? No, you don't. If anybody else is in a leadership position at their job, in business, or you're just an all-around powerhouse person and you have this issue with how you're perceived, I'm gonna tell you right now, the semantics get old real quick. Stop adding fluff for people. They're gonna think what they want regardless. And also they're going to expect from you what a courtesy that they won't even give in return. Just stop adding fluff for people. Last thing I want to say is if I say something to someone and they
also can y'all put in the chat, and this is for educational purpose for content creators, right? I really want to know, like, when do you feel like we're being condescending? Can you explain? Is it a word choice? Is it the wording? Can you give an example? And then also, is it the tone? But then it's like when people say it's the tone, then I'm like, well, damn, now you tone policing me? Because I'm the type of woman where I could be very animated, you know, and that's just my personality. But I'm not being animated to be mean to you. I'm being animated because it's my personality. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. Sometimes as a Black woman, it really sucks because it's like we're always being told, oh, you got to say it this way, and you gotta be this way, and you gotta do this, and you gotta do that, and you gotta do this. And it's like, damn. And then if you do it exactly how they say, they still gonna have a problem with it. So it's just like, as Black women, when can we just exist and be ourselves? And my personality is very animated, so sometimes I'm just talking, and then people are perceiving me to be condescending, and I'm like, well, that's not how I was trying to come across to you, though. That was not my intent when the words left my mouth. I'm just an animated person. That's it. And I can be very blunt at times, but not to be rude. I don't think I'm being rude. So let me know. And like I said, it's for educational purpose. Either you're watching the playback, can you please leave a comment? Because I would like to hear from you. It's for educational purposes.
Say that I'm being rude. I asked them, okay, if you said that statement to me and I said you were rude, would you think I was overreacting? And they almost never respond. Because then you have to sit there and think, oh, is it actually rude, or is it just because of how I perceive this person? Is it just because the person who said it? Most times it's the person who said it. That ain't my problem though, sorry.
So how do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel about that? I would like for y'all, it just depends. Oh, you feel like people being condescending, telling them they're angry when passionate? I just want somebody to explain it to me. Like, honestly, this is constructive criticism, right? Comment if you ever felt I was being condescending, like what was said or why did you feel that way? I just want to know, because that's the only way. If you don't make me aware, because you got to understand, I'm just being myself, right? But I really want to know how did you come to that conclusion? Was it something I said? Was it my tone, et cetera, et cetera? And then also, I want to ask you this. I don't think people understand how hard it is to be a Black woman on social media and have a platform. I really don't. And I'm not saying, whoa, it's me, I'm a victim. No, I'm saying, like, can you consider that at times? Because we are human beings with feelings and emotions. I'm not about to sit here and be like, nothing bother me. Do you not know how hard it is to be attacked viciously and aggressively online, and you're getting all of this negativity, and you could have not even meant anything really by it, negative by it. But people are perceiving it that way, and maybe that was never your intent, and now you're getting all of these attacks. How do you expect for that Black woman to respond? Because 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna respond with an attitude. I'm not gonna respond like, oh, it ain't that. So sometimes I feel like when you say this creator is rude or things like that, did they get a lot of hate that day? Were they getting a lot of negativity in the comments? Can you give that creator grace that day? You know what I mean? Like, if you know that content creator is being dragged, do you really think she's going to address the public and be all nice about it? Probably not. Probably not, because she's getting a lot of negative energy thrown her way. She's not getting that much positive energy, right? So because she's got all of this negative energy thrown her way, do you really think she's going to come online and just be like positive with her response, or just happy-go-lucky with her response? It's not real, y'all. Like, that's not us being human. That's us being fake. Like, if y'all were dragging me, right, and I was getting a lot of negativity, me coming online like, that's me being fake as hell, because I'm being attacked, and I feel some type of way about that. So I don't know. Y'all let me know. I want to know. It is difficult. I don't think it's just a simple answer. I don't think there's a simple response. But I just noticed when it comes to the internet, there's no room for real human experiences. There's no room for real human exchange. And so it's so easy to take something so negative on these apps. But it's kind of similar to when it's very similar to when you're texting someone versus when you're talking to them on the phone. And then there's a difference between texting someone, talking to them on the phone, and then talking to them face to face. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I just think, I would like to know. I don't mind getting some constructive criticism. It helps me with my growth, so I don't mind that. But that's really it. That's really it. But yeah, I get passionate, especially when we talk about accountability, because I really believe that's your power, right? And your accountability is about women taking their power back. And the only way they can identify that was their power that they gave away. Well, how do you know what you had control over if you don't identify with accountability? So you identify with accountability so that you can take your power back, because you're able to acknowledge, oh, damn, I gave my power away. Let me be accountable, because that is my power. I can take it back. I can remove it. So it's just something that I'm thinking about. And I see women give their power away every day on this app. It's exhausting. And I'm like, I don't want to be, excuse my French, I don't want to be a weak bitch. I don't. I want to be an empowered woman that's confident, self-assured, doesn't care about the judgment, doesn't care about society. Like, I just want to be happy in life. And I don't feel like I can be truly happy if I'm not being myself, if I'm making everything about men, if I'm making everything about things outside of myself, like outside validation, acceptance from others, success, love. And it's just like all of these things I can generate within myself. So sometimes I get a little irritated. I do. but it's coming from a loving place. It's not coming from a bully. Like, I'm not here to bully you. I got better things to do with my time. But no, it's like I want women to win. And I feel like we losing. And that's what I'm frustrated about. It's just, I want us to win really, really bad. Like Black China, I want her to win. I love seeing her go through that transformation. And she just came out a very beautiful person. And it's like, damn, why can't more of us be like that? Why can't more of us be like Angela White? Because that was such a beautiful transformation. And I want that woman to win. Do you hear me? Like, I will fight you over Angela White, because I want to see her win. I want to see her loved on. I don't know much about the man. That's why I didn't speak on it, because I don't know nothing about that man. I didn't even look into him, because I'm just like, God, please let this be good for her, because I really want to see that. You know, I don't want to see this man come into her life and just take her off this path that she's on. It's just so beautiful. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, she's engaged. I didn't really speak on it because I don't know what to really say about her relationship. I don't even know who she married. So, or who she's engaged to. I'm sorry, who she's engaged to. But yeah, I just want to see women win, and I'm tired of seeing women take L's. Love is Blind season 7 was very triggering for me, because every woman on that show took an L. Even Taylor. Even Taylor. I will be shocked if she is with Garrett at the reunion. I really will. I would be shocked. I don't think they made it down the aisle at all. I don't. And if Taylor didn't make it down the aisle, then maybe she didn't take a W outside of sleeping with the man because he told her sweet nothings. So who knows? But I was like, a lot of the stuff that was being pushed through different women's behaviors and things like that on the show, it kind of felt like, you know, we were kind of being set back in a way. Like, you had a Caucasian woman that was trying to raise a man who lived in his mother's basement. And she tried to raise him by bullying him and belittling him and speaking down to him and being negative. Then you have Ashley, who was compromising her true desire to be with a man that made promises, but she never questioned, why did you feel the need to lie? So she was willing to work it out even though he lied to her. Then you have Alex, who, to me, she was trying to force a relationship with a man that she knew she wasn't compatible with. They're polar opposites. What he expects from her is not what she's able to give. And that's okay. Sometimes you meet men and what they expect and what they want. And that's the thing about Tim. He's very particular. He knows what he's looking for, and he knows what he wants. And it just wasn't Alex. And it doesn't make him a bad man. It just means that they weren't compatible. Also, Alex, she came across dirty, lazy, and really, I believe I think she was in like some type of depressed state. So it was like, you weren't your best. You should not have been on that show. And it's not to be mean or harsh. I can empathize with her because it looked like she was going through a depression. Her apartment really did. And so I'm not here to judge her for that. But ladies, if you're not in the best place, you can't give your best when it comes to your dating life, because you're not in the best place. And it's okay to take a step back and focus on yourself and pour into yourself. And it seems like she's done that since the show has ended. Also, Taylor, she, again, was lied to, and she never questioned, well, Garrett, why would you lie to me about something like that? Why would you feel the need to lie to me about the ex texting you? I just don't get that. Then who else? Monica and Steven. Y'all, that was probably the most disappointing part of the show. Now, listen, I could be real with you. There were a lot of mean girls on this show. And Monica came across mean at times, like just mean. But Steven was never being himself. Like, he was in the pods texting other women. Then he was in this relationship trying to present himself to be this good guy, this perfect man, this perfect fiance. And the whole time he was playing in her face. And maybe Monica, her spirit, like, just wasn't receptive to him. But I just felt like at times she could have been a little nicer to him. But Steven, you are not shit. Like, I don't even, like, why were you even on the show, sir? I think Steven is the second biggest villain. There's so many villains this season. In the order: Tyler, Steven, and Leo. Okay, I would go in that order. Am I missing anybody? I don't feel like Tim was the villain. I don't. I think that man was really presenting himself. He's very particular. There are some men that are just very particular. The same way Tim is particular is the same way Hannah is particular. And I think Jess made this great comment where she said, I think Hannah and Tim would have made a great match. And it was because they like things a certain way. They tend to be super clean and super organized type of people. And so those type of people have to be around other people that are like that. And Alex is the total opposite of them. And so that situation just would not have worked. Okay. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to give a full breakdown because I'm gathering information based off of what was on the show versus what's on social media. And I'm going to be giving my breakdown. I'm just waiting for the next episode to air. And then I'll do my breakdown of the season, the episodes, and then I'll do another one for the reunion. So that's what I plan on doing. But that's what I think so far. Yeah, the entire cast of Love is Blind. I think y'all starting to do this on purpose for views because that's the only way it makes sense to me. Seriously. I mean, some of the stuff that we're finding out about these cast members, it's like you could have looked on their Instagram account. You could have looked on their social media, their Facebook, something. I don't get it. But I'm going to go. Steven is the ginger head. And I knew as soon as that man said, oh, I guess I lost my job. I was like, oh, no, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to work, y'all. I was like, listen, he don't got no money. Yeah, I was just like, this is ridiculous. So I'm logging out. A white Nigerian king, that he was definitely given that. Steven was definitely given that. But I'm gonna log out. It's not that people still use Facebook. It's just that people were posting on Facebook at a point in time, and you may need to dig on there to see, if they are who they claim they are. Y'all don't be doing no investigation when y'all be out here dealing with these men. I do a whole investigation. I'm zooming in on photos. I'm looking to see what's in the background. I'm looking at tags. I'm looking at likes. I'm looking at comments because you're not about to come in my life and ruin it because I work very hard for this life. You get what I'm saying? So no, I'm all up in your shit. I'm all up in your business. So if you don't want me to be in your business, do not bother me. And I'm okay with that. The objective is not to get the guy. The objective is for me to be happy. That's it. So I'm going to be all up in your business. And if you don't want me in your business, like I said, just leave me alone. I ain't bothering you, so don't bother me. And it's really that simple. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later to react to the story time watch party about the Who the F Was I About to Marry NFL Wife edition. Okay? I'll see y'all later. Yes, this is staying up.